Welcome to the Dame Daily. Today's going to be a great show. It's going to be a great show today. It's not just because there's so much internet buzz and gossip going on about different things. It's not that. I'm going to show you today some of the plans of the elites and how they manipulate things, and we're going to be able to see it very clearly today. So I'm so glad you joined here. I'm so glad you're here. I want to welcome you. I know it's been a little while. We've been doing a lot of different things with new equipment and some configurations and things of that nature, but we're up and going now. So today we're just going to start off right off where it is. Where it is right now is the internet's buzzing about something Jaguar Wright has already been telling us for at least the last 6 years, minimally, probably earlier than that. Jay-Z has now been, his name has been appended to the Diddy lawsuit that was filed in October. And Jaguar Wright actually was on with Piers Morgan. You guys will recall that. She was on with Piers Morgan. And she actually put out some allegations. And actually, her allegations were a lot milder compared to what the allegations are in this latest report. And I'll be honest with everyone, I did not even read the filing. Just the very thought of it, whether he did it or not, the very thought of these things occurring with the 13, it's beyond irreprehensible. And I'll just say this: the victim said this happened. There's no reason why a 13-year-old girl lie about something like this, or whatever age she is now. But I will say this: in the event that is true, Jay-Z is going to have to pay the piper. In the event that is true, I think his response was extremely arrogant, and it actually reminded me of the whole P. Diddy thing. But he can do that because he knows we're a society, or I should say not we, society, because I exclude myself from the masses. And you have to do that. You have to start, even the way you start talking. Even my wife now, even the way we talk to one another about things, we'll both catch one another. Like, no, we don't think that way. This is the way that they think. We don't do this, they do this. If this is not true, if this is true, Jay-Z is going to have to pay a very heavy price for this. This will undoubtedly destroy any type of legacy that he has had or try to have. Be interested to see what the NFL does with this, but that would wipe, and then that's not including the criminal and all that stuff. So that he's finished. This is true. He should not even be mentioned in the black historical account of musicians and rappers and singers and things of that nature. But if it's not true, which is what Charlemagne was kind of leaning towards today on the Breakfast Club, I was very surprised that they took this approach. Instead of taking a neutral approach to this, or even leaning a little bit more towards the victim, they went at Busby. And I've already told you guys, listen, Busby is not a good dude. He is not a good dude. He is not. He's a very bad dude. But if something legitimately happened to you, that's the dude you want fighting for you. It's like the equivalent of like what Detroit used to have Dennis Rodman. Like, everyone hated the dude. He was available in free agency. Everyone tried to get him. Can we get Dennis Rodman on a trade? Everyone tried to get him. Ask Michael Jordan what he would have done with those last 3 championships without Rodman, right? Rodman was, he called the most critical person on his team, and that's probably true even with Pippen being there. That's like 2A and 2B right there with Pippen and Rodman. I kind of get him on that. But this is the guy that you want fighting for you. If you have a legitimate case, this is the guy you want fighting for you. If you don't have a legitimate case, this guy's a scoundrel. And something needs to be, it's funny now that it's involving Jay-Z. Everyone wants to be like, well, we need to do something against these celebrities getting pulled into this stuff and these demand letters. But this has been going on for decades, if not hundreds of years. Decades this has been going on. no one has a problem with it till it touches somewhere, some close to home. And now it's like, oh, we got to review how we do this. No, we should have been reviewed how they've done that, because you should not have your name drugged through a mug from a civil trial. First of all, I'll just tell you this. Civil trials versus criminal trials, that's not biblical. Where's that in the Bible? There was one type of trial, and there was one judge. You had several judges. You had Samson, Deborah, Solomon, you had David, you had his son Absalom. We've had tons of judges. It's one judge, not a jury of people who we don't know, who have their biases, who could be uneducated, could be this, could be that. None of that. One judge, one righteous judge. And we can't even get that today. So you say that system needs to be reformed, but this is what everyone has been saying. But it only makes a difference now that it involves your guy. And that was my problem with what Charlemagne said. He only has a problem with what happened because it involves, he didn't have a problem with all the other so-called demand letters, right? Or even the demand letter that was sent to Diddy. Diddy got the same type of letter from Cassie's attorneys. For 1 year, they were hashing this thing out, right? So it's interesting to me that this got filed now, because it looked like it was a point of no return. At least it looks like to even sit down and to mediate, they couldn't even come to the agreement to even sit down, because Tony Busby came out and said, no, I didn't blackmail him. I never gave him a number. We just said we wanted to talk. So that's interesting. But I'm wondering if these talks involved minimums, right? Because if you're Tony Busby and you have this client of yours, and let's just be neutral to what's happened. We don't know if it's happened or not, but let's just say you have this client of yours. And let's say you believe the allegation. No, we'll say you believe the allegations should be true, and you should believe it. You shouldn't file this unless you know these to be 100% true. I don't want to hear about the burden of proof is less than civil. That's just something man made up. Someone made that up. That's not in the Bible. That's not gospel truth. Someone just made that up. So now you have a situation with this Busby. It kind of puts it, if this ends up being true, if this ends up being not true, you're really going to have to take a look at this whole thing about putting a celebrity and what was done to Jay-Z and stuff like that. Now, let me tell you the thing about Jay-Z. I know we're kind of hit some points we're going to come back around, but let me tell you this. The minimum he's guilty of is bad company. And I do find it hard to believe Diddy was doing all these stuff with the freak offs and Jay-Z. He never once talked about it to Jay-Z. I find that very hard to believe. So Dame Dash, you have got to think that he pulled that separation, because your name is not attached to any of that. Right? Now, yes, you told Nick Cannon you weren't in the Fiesta video. You were in the Fiesta video. Okay. I don't know why you told him that. You were in the Fiesta video. So you were still with him doing the R. Kelly. You were still with him. And the fact that to say that was your artist, that's not a good enough excuse, right? So you wanted to be in the video, and that's okay. Just say you wanted to be in the video and you were in the video, right? But your name is not attached to any of this. So you should be very glad. So, but if this ends up not being true, let's say this is not true, for Jay-Z to have to make a statement, or it's not just Jay-Z, it's any celebrity to have to make a statement about something like that. It's like, wow, people need to really take a look at this stuff. They talk about democracy and we're this and we're that, and is it Trump, Kamala Harris? Like, everyone gets all bent out of shape about stuff that at the end of the day doesn't really matter. I told someone, listen, my day sometimes starts at 3:30 a.m. I said, no matter, on Monday night when I went to bed, I said, no matter who's president, I'm still getting up to do what I have to do. And that's what it's about. People made fun of Jeff Bezos. Oh man, Jeff Bezos, Washington Post, you guys didn't endorse Kamala Harris, whatever. He's doing the smart thing, playing it neutral, playing both sides. Guess who he's having dinner with next week? Donald Trump. So he's going to get some money probably for his space programs and Amazon and some of his other initiatives, right? Because they get you into this thing where you like fight, and your fight is like, at the end of the day, what are you fighting for? Yes, the celebrities can afford to leave the country. Okay, if you want to leave the country because Donald Trump is president, okay, that's within your prerogative to do. But for the if there's 350 million Americans, for the 349 million who can't do that, no matter who the president is, we're going to keep on with our task and our goals, right? So that's why I said this whole thing is nothing but a large scale distraction. We're going to end up talking about the why. But I was very surprised, like I said, going back to Charlemagne, I was very surprised that they came out so hard for Jay-Z. And then I wasn't. Because when they have Dame Dash on there, and this is what they do to Dame, and so I couldn't help but think about Dame, because I was like, man, Dame dodged a bullet with being separated from Jay-Z, because people don't even, especially kids coming up today, listen, they haven't been together in 25 years. So if you weren't even born then and you're 25 now, you don't even associate Jay-Z with Dame Dash at all. Which is a good thing for Dame now, if you're looking at that. So, yeah, I was very surprised at Charlemagne. I was very surprised, only from the standpoint that if you look at the interviews they do with Jay-Z, they never really talk about the Dame Dash thing. They never really keep on poking him at it. But watch any interview that they do with Dame Dash prior to this year, because he said he wasn't talking about it anymore. Prior to this year, look at any interview. They ask him a question about something that was very hurtful. You had someone who stole really almost $750 million from him, because he had that deal for Rockaware when they had David Beckham and Victoria Beckham, and they were going to sell it for $500 million. And then when Jay pulled himself out, it devalued the company by hundreds of millions. I think Dame only got maybe $1 or $2 million for that, and they gave it to him in a certificate form, and that certificate expired, so you really didn't get anything. And my problem with that was, you didn't tell your best friend, and that's what Dame called him. You're my best friend. You didn't tell your best friend that the certificate was going to expire. But when your best friend put his 1/3 of Rockefeller for sale, you put out a legal notice that said this guy's only going to have this for the next 7 or 8 years. So basically, don't buy it. You didn't say don't buy it, but if I want to go buy something, I'm like, oh man, let me buy 1/3 of Rock, because you had Drake, you had other people who were interested. Oh, let me go buy 1/3 of Rockefeller. That's a iconic brand. And then you have the top icon of that brand come out and say, in 7 or 8 years, I'm gonna have full ownership of this company anyway. So you can. I just wanted to let you know that wasn't part of the legal notice. That wasn't part of the legal filing. Like, he didn't have to do that. But he's looking out for everybody. And I look at this. He's always beating Dame down. So you basically took Rockaware from him. You could say whatever. He was fat or whatever. He helped make that the brand the way it is. The fact that you could get Victoria and the two biggest world stars, with David Beckham. Go taking this back to early 2000s with soccer, they were talking about him on the level of Jordan. David Beckham was making $100 million a year back then. Like, yeah, they're doing it now, $67 million. Steve Curry and these guys. David Beckham was doing it all the way back then, right? So I'm looking at this, and every single time there was an opportunity for Dame to be able to benefit, you took it from him. And then the record company. To be able to split with Dame for Leor, like, even if you don't like Dame, listen, Dame is someone he shares my namesake. I don't think I could really have a civil conversation with him past 10 minutes, to be honest with you. I don't. We saw, like, in the Nick Cannon interviews, and he gets opportunities. He's very arrogant, very bright. Like, he's very, I don't do anything wrong. The Breakfast Club, I never had a job, that type of thing. And, I've done it all the right way. When you admit you were selling drugs to your community, you're destroying your community for years, if not decades. So, I don't think that's the platform that you want to stand on. I think this platform you want to stand on is you're an independent thinker, and you try, refine, perfect. And then at some point, it starts to click for you and starts to work for you. And Dame's been very successful. Like, there's not very many people, you can say whatever you want. There's not very many people that are not on a Jay-Z level who've gotten a major movie produced in Hollywood. Dame did that with, I think it was called State Property. He had another one he did with Mekhi Phifer. Was it Paid in Full? I'm not sure. I think it was Paid in Full. But he's had a couple of major movies. One of them was with the Weinstein. A couple of them I think were with Weinstein's company. So he was able to get on that level and do that out that level. We already know about his associations with Kanye, State Property, Freeway, all those guys, right? Like, I'm not saying that he found all those guys, but he created the machine and the mechanism of which Jay-Z didn't know how to do. And you want the proof of it? What has Jay-Z done since he's had Rock Nation? Who has Jay-Z brought in, groomed, and they're like, wow, that's a superstar. Now remember, Rihanna was given to him. He didn't find Rihanna. Rihanna was given to him, right? And Rihanna went with him. I don't know if her first couple of albums were with him, but let's say when Rihanna was at her hottest, like 08, 09, right? Then she had her last album, and that was like before even 2012. But she really hasn't done anything. But he wasn't the engine behind that, right? She just happened to be on his label, but he wasn't the engine behind her success. And anyone will tell you that. But other than that, who does he have? He has this major record label, but he doesn't have people. Remember, Rita Ora was supposed to be the next. That was supposed to be the next, she's actually supposed to be the next Rihanna. And that didn't end up happening. We're still waiting for Rita Ora's first album. I don't know. Does she have an album out? I don't know. I haven't heard it, but I know there's a lot of press that she was so good she was gonna replace Rihanna. And we see where that went. So, just checking some things here. All right, so you gotta give Dame credit for that, and I do. But Dame's gotta count his blessings on this one because he's not a part of that. And this is bad. And the way Jay-Z's playing it, I can't believe he would put out a statement like that. And it's very interesting. I think his attorneys had to put out a statement even after that. Were that his attorneys or were that Diddy's attorneys? I know Diddy's attorneys had something to say, which was crazy. If you're Jay-Z, I just want to punch Diddy in the face for even having something to say that night. It's like, your name was already on the lawsuit. You don't need to jump on what I'm saying about me not doing it, right? It's like, oh yeah, see, we both didn't do it. It's like, no, there's something there. There's something there. 12,000. Listen, were 99% of these calls fake? Probably, right? But even being 99%, right? It's still a couple hundred. And 12,000 calls, right? So, but yeah, this Jay-Z thing. So this is what I was telling my wife. I said, you know what? The true measure of what's going on with this case is once they see this first one come up, it's going to be the second, third, and fourth. That's the normal way it happens. You have the case, and this is as bad as it gets. And then everyone who had anything to do with this guy, whether they're disgruntled, whether it's buyer's remorse, whatever it is, listen, this is not a gossip channel. But Foxy put up some, she put up some statuses yesterday on Instagram that everyone was wondering, what are you talking about? Because this is my problem with Charlemagne. Charlemagne never went. He never went at Jay-Z about Foxy Brown. They always let Jay-Z get away with, hey, yeah, we're brothers, even though we don't talk, we support one another. No, you don't. Man, you sue this guy at every opportunity you can for nothing. It's even so bad, listen, when Jay-Z filed his lawsuit, Damon didn't countersue. The state of New York general attorney came in and said, wait, time out. What's going on here? First of all, the things that you're saying in this document, Jay-Z, is wrong. You do not revert full control over in the next 6 years. It's wrong. They didn't even, and they said, plus you jeopardized, you poisoned the entire auction, which he did, which he meant to do. So, like I said, I was very surprised that he came at it this way. I was surprised he made that statement. It was a very insensitive statement. I'm surprised his attorneys didn't have him take it down. I guess he felt he had to say something, but now, here's the thing. Busby has something. He has something. Because his credibility is going to be ruined if this thing gets just dropped. And I wouldn't be surprised if it does get dropped, but just know if it does get dropped, someone got paid. I'll just tell you this right now. Busby has something. From what I understand, this woman was giving details about A, B, C, D, F, G. Busby has something. They vet. It's 100 people in his company that vet people. This case landed right on his desk. And he felt comfortable enough about putting Jay-Z's name in there. And there's another celebrity to be named too. It's interesting who that could be. I got some thoughts on it. Like I said, this is not a gossip channel, but I got some thoughts on who that could be. I think you do as well. But yeah, I was very surprised that I don't get why you would say that at this point and how sensitive, especially since the Me Too movement. So it's interesting where this is going to go, because if it goes to trial, it's going to show some things, and I think Jay-Z knows that. Now, I don't know if there's been discovery done or anything like that. I don't know how it works with civil cases, right? I don't know if they could just pop something by surprise. But I believe Busby has something, because he knows his credibility would be ruined going this far with a known celebrity like this. Like even Piers Morgan was scared. I'm like, man, wow, Piers, you put out an apology to Beyonce and Jay-Z. It's like, you need to get better white attorneys. Listen, white people, don't be mad at me. That's actually a compliment. You got a good set of white attorneys. You can do some things. Yes, we know Johnny Cochran led the O.J. Simpson dream team, but don't act like Alan Dershowitz and these other guys weren't on that team helping out. So his legacy's done. If this is even remotely true, but he put him in this situation because these are the circles that he was in. And don't try to act like, Jay-Z, now that you weren't in these circles. Of course you were in these circles. Of course you were in these circles. You had your annual breakfast with him. All the award shows. You guys taking pictures, after parties, and all this stuff. I just find it hard to believe from 2000 to 25. Listen, Jay-Z's become more mature and refined since 2000. The 2000 was like the blueprint, right? I think we can agree with that. Diddy has become more mature and refined. But these guys have known each other before then. So what about 95 to like 99, 2000? Yeah, all types of activities were probably occurring because they weren't thinking about what they had to lose, because at the time they didn't really have that much to lose. So we're about to wrap this up. This is actually not going to be very long because I want to show you guys something. And what I'm about to show you is where the real problem is. And the real problem has nothing to do with Jay-Z. Jay-Z, this is one person. I just want to say this is one person. Hold on one second. Okay, this is one person who this happened to 25 years ago, and it's significant, but they're out of danger now. Now, there's a lot of lingering effects. Things that have happened to them since that time. The story's true. But let's go on what's going on right now with our black women today, right now. And I can give, for every one story of these, I got 10 of them. I want to show you why this is a distraction, and we really shouldn't care about it. And we really shouldn't be talking about it and spending too much time on it. We just shouldn't. So, prison work assignments. Here we go. Prison work assignments used to lure and rape female inmates. Guards sometimes walk free. So here's my first problem with this. The first problem is with this is systematic. The system knows it and they allow it. Because the first time this happened anywhere in the United States, ever in the history of the United States, you would have made sure it never, ever, ever happened again. Like, okay, you know what? No more male guards in female prisons. Vice versa. No more female guards at male prisons. So they want this to happen. This is what these animals you guys root for with democracy and God bless the USA. No, God cursed the USA. God protect me and my family and my lineage, my family, those 12 tribes, and God cursed the USA. Because this is exactly what's in the scriptures. You sell a boy and a girl for a harlot. This is what you do. So this story only probably made it Yahoo News because dealing with a white woman. But our black women happens all the time. There's a sheriff that just committed suicide because for 20 years, he was raping black women, finally got caught. Go read about it. Finally got caught, committed suicide. About to go to trial. Here it is. The background of this story is this woman got called for a work assignment. She woke up early in the morning for her prison work assignment. When she got downstairs, she saw Wyden, that's the officer who raped her, offer to save her some money by operating the cage, a room with free washers and dryers reserved for new prisoners who hadn't yet started their jobs. He's rubbing himself, she said, while reminding her of all the little favors he'd done for her. He's like, it's time to pay. Her account that night to the Associated Press mirrors almost word for word the complaint she filed with police 8 years ago. Wyden was charged 2 years later and pled not guilty. That's another problem I have. Like, not guilty in the USA just means, it doesn't mean you didn't do it. But the case continues to crawl through the criminal court system, vehemently denied the allegation to the AP, contending he was set up. Yost is part of a fastest growing population behind bars. Women, most of whom are locked up for non-violent crimes that often are drug related. Though the female prisoners have long been victims of sexual violence, and a number of reports that correctional staff has exploded nationwide in many years, many complaints follow similar patterns. Accusers are retaliated against, while those accused face little to no punishment. This is what the scripture is talking about when it talks about they hold themselves not guilty. Sorry, a little technical difficulties today. This is what they're talking about. They hold themselves not guilty. So this article just goes on to explain, since it doesn't want to behave today, that they did a 2-year study and they found hundreds of women with similar or worse stories, and they found that 2 out of every 3 prisons in the United States contained there was rape going on. That was known. You're in prison behind bars, they have weapons, electric chargers, shockers, beat you, whatever, you have to submit to them. So this is why I want to say, Black America, why do we care about Jay-Z? Why do we care about this one case where we don't know what has happened and which we'll never know? Because all they're going to do is, I guarantee you this is going to go away. This is going to go away. If this does not go away, this is going to bring down him, Beyonce, and probably some other people. I'm just telling you that straight up. I'll just tell you that straight up. Now, we all know Prophetess Celeste. You all know she talked about this day coming. She talked about this like back in 2019. The fall of Jay-Z and Beyonce, and it's going exactly what she said. They were with kids. This is what she said back then. So that's real prophecy, not this, the night before, who's going to win the election. No. This is real prophecy right here. She said Jay-Z, Beyonce, children. This is what she said back in 2019. She just put something up recently where she's shown like maybe 8 or 9 videos, maybe more than that, maybe like 12 videos that she's talked about this. I've seen a couple of them. Like once I saw the fall of Beyonce and Jay-Z, that's all I really needed to see. I think when this Diddy thing happened, I'm like, okay, he's going to be netted in this because everyone, to 50 Cent's point, like, why aren't we hearing from Jay-Z on this? Oh, man, I would never believe my friend would do this or what have you. Or if your best friend, your public business, your best business partner in the public. We don't know if they're friends behind the scenes. We don't know what they do, right? But we know in the public, those two are very, very, very tight. If there's any type of public arrangement or any type of big thing going on, those two are linked up together. It's beyond the Grammys. It goes beyond the Super Bowl. It goes beyond any of this stuff. These guys are linked up. Why wouldn't you come out for your friend? Like, if you know these things are so heinous, as you said, Jay-Z, and these things are heinous, why not come out for your friend and stump for your friend? So, it's kind of what I said before. At the very least, guilty of extremely bad judgment. I do believe just because you were that close to them, you knew about some things that were going on. And if this thing goes to trial, it's going to bring down a lot of people. It's going to bring down a lot of people. So this is what I'm telling everyone. Wait for the next week or so. Probably about a month, but wait for the next week or so. They'll probably wait till like 2025. If Busby had someone that called him right now, and if they verified it, he probably wait till like January, because they're gonna drip this thing out, and they are going to bring Beyonce into this. She's going to get into this. Now it's very interesting. Like I said, this is not a gossip channel, so I don't talk about the gossip. Tina Knowles, yes. Tina Knowles hit like on the story about Jay-Z and assaulting a 13-year-old. She came out and said her account was hacked. Okay. I find it very interesting that these hackers would have access to these type of accounts and hack an account just to hit a like button. Okay. I give it to you. You got hacked and you got control of your account now. You don't know how you got hacked, but you got control of your account. Okay. I mean, it could happen, right? I don't know. There are groups out there that these young kids, because this is actually what happened with the murder of the healthcare, what was it? United Healthcare CEO, right? The police asked these like cyber sleuths who were like in people's basements, they asked this group to help them find, and that group said no. But the police knew who to go to ask for this. They said, no, we're not going to help you. So could that happen? Yeah, that could happen. That could happen. But I want to get back to this. Our women, pastors, bishops, bishops, suffering bishop, bishop-elects, like all these different names now, apostles. Now there's grand apostle. They're starting that now. Grand apostle. All these people with all these different names, senior pastor, campus pastor. This is what we need to focus on. We need to spend all our focus helping the prisoners who can't defend themselves, so they don't get raped and sexually assaulted, because it's against the Constitution. So all you Constitution lovers out there in the South, it's against the Constitution. And these are non-violent, even if it was violent, even if it was something other than drugs. These are non-violent crimes. So violence is perpetrated on them. And this is the heinous. You want to talk about heinous, Jay-Z? No, America is heinous. So I'm asking that you reach out to our young women who are in these prisons, reach out to different groups and organizations, and be there for them and help them. I need your help. I can't do it alone. I'm doing a lot with this globally, not locally, not in Michigan, not the United States. Globally, this is a burden that I carry. I'm asking you to help me carry it. I can't do it alone, but this is way more important than the Jay-Z case right now. That woman is safe and sound. These women and men are not. And what will you do? And no one will be able to say they didn't know, because I came on talking about this, and I talk about this every opportunity I have to come on. I talk about the sexual abuse that are happening to our people by law enforcement. So that's what it is, the distraction. So carry on, everyone. Let's get back to the work at hand. Let's put together a strategy. Let's not have us shift our focus and our goals. Let's put together a strategy to unite our people, to bring our young men and women home safe and sound. Pray for them. Father, right now, I thank you for this day. I thank you for this opportunity to be able to know this information. Thank you for that I'm in the land of the living. And despite any technical difficulties, Father, I thank you that I'm able to get this message out. And I ask you to be there for every single one of your children right now. Every single one of your children, every single one of the tribes. Be there for them right now. As we turn to you, you said if we turn our hearts, this is what you said in the Kings, if we turn our hearts towards you, you have our captors have compassion. And we're asking you that they have compassion on our women and our men. We thank you for answering our prayer. We thank you in faith. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, guys. For you guys who are just joining me, yes, this is a very unusual podcast. Because we can talk shop about the scriptures, but we actually talk about it in real application. So, I know that, Jimmy Swaggart's son, had some things to say about black people and things we were doing. None of that stuff matters about the Republican Democrat stuff. Let's get to, that's not in the Bible. Let's get to fixing this. Because, he's from Louisiana. So you Southerners, you guys are just looking for something to do. Here's a way that you can help. And I'm asking for your help in the most kindest, most respectful way. Because I'm going to assume maybe you didn't know about this stuff, but I think you did. So I wouldn't worry about what black people are doing in terms of legislation. I would worry about what's actually going on and what you're doing to my people. What you're doing to my people. Because I don't know too many black governors in the South. All right. With that said, thank you guys for joining. And until next time.